Hi, I'm Andy Willett, amateur underwater photographer, scuba diver instructor. I've been taking pictures for about 17-20 years. I've always been lucky enough when I've dived in the tropics where it's moist atmosphere. I've always avoided condensation on the front of the housing, mainly because I've always assembled the housing of the camera in an air-conditioned room. An air-conditioned room has dry air, so when you close the housing and it's now got trapped air inside, when you go diving and you go into the water's cooler clearly, then the surface doesn't condensate and you don't get fogging problems. The issue is when you haven't got an air-conditioned room or the facility to go into an aircon room, open the back of the camera and close it again to trap that dry air. So we need to fabricate that artificially. Now as divers, we all know our breathing air and our cylinder is very dry, so we can use that to our advantage. So if you have a bag, quite a big bag, ideally clear so you can see what you're doing, you still assemble the camera as you normally would do in the housing, but this time we're going to leave the back ajar. We're going to place the housing right in the bag. Now, understanding that we now have moist air in the bag, we haven't really gained anything at this point here. So what we need to do is get a diving cylinder, the regulator, we'll put it inside the bag. We need to make some attempt to make it reasonably airtight-ish. So we're going to put the bag scrumpled up with a clamp just around the regulator. So I've now got a bag, camera with the back open. I'm now going to put some dry air inside. Let's turn the air on, bear with me. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to squash that air out again, slacken the clamp, let the air back out again. So I'm purging the air really. Make sure that's a good airtight connector again. Refill. The bag is now fairly inflated. I can't get my hands on the housing, so again, if we push the bag and make it a bit smaller, so I've got the bag is in fact fairly baggy, it becomes a lot easier. So here we go. So bear in mind this is still dry air inside the bag. I can now get my hands onto the housing. I can actually manipulate the housing and close it. Close the housing up. There we go. Take off the clamp. You can use elastic band. The body could help you. And remove the housing from the bag. So we now have an assembled camera and a housing with diving air inside it, which is dry, and we won't have a fogging problem on the front. Job done.